Hello, this is Dr. Susan Nash, and I'm here today to talk a little bit about some of the issues in supply chain management and also kind of thinking about if you're working with your supplier and some of the unexpected issues that might come up. And one of those might be, what do you do if you are a supplier or you are working with suppliers and you're in a place that's in economic crisis? So I just got back from Argentina, and I thought of different issues that made this whole thing in Argentina just incredibly interesting, tragically so, honestly. But I don't know if you're familiar with Argentina and the issues they have with structural debt. But at this point in time, the government of Argentina owes $101 billion. So, okay, that's a lot of money, especially when you consider the size of Argentina. At one point, they were the seventh largest economy in the world, but now they're not. And their GDP is, I think, right at $500 billion a year. So, okay, you say, well, the U.S. has debt that's more than our GDP, but that's total debt. I mean, we're talking about being owed to the IMF and they're demanding interest. So it's really challenging. And so at this point, the Argentine peso has lost a lot of value. On August 11th, overnight, people woke up and the peso was worth 25% less. And you think, okay, well, maybe all the prices stay the same. No, the prices went up correspondingly in pesos. So now the exchange rate is around 56 pesos per dollar. When I was there, it was 60, so it's actually gotten a little better. But imagine the problems that causes if you're in the supply chain. So I visited a place called El Ateneo, which is a converted theater. It was once a theater, really elegant, etc., and it's converted into a bookstore. And I mean, I loved it because there just aren't that many bookstores anymore. But in Argentina, there are a lot. And you can buy a lot of used books and all kinds of books. And I actually thought about buying a carry-on bag or another one just to check, filled with books. But it was Saturday, and sadly enough, the bookstores I was visiting the night before were all closed on Saturday. So I was saved for myself. But I was thinking, how would you like to have a bookstore like Ateneo, and you have books, and you have customers, and you have to purchase books, you sell books. So what does that do to your supply chain? Just even in terms of your inventory. Let's think about it. Let's say that the book that you paid, say, the equivalent of $1 for, say, a year ago, it's been sitting on the shelf. Now, if you were to replace it, you would have to pay $5. Wow, that doesn't work out at all. So you have to have your prices that go up correspondingly, so you almost can't put any prices on the books. You just have to some way to adjust all the prices upward. But then, let's say that you're supplying schools with textbooks, and you say, okay, well, you've got an order in, and the order is for 50 books, and the books cost X number of pesos. Say they cost 10 pesos each. well, let's say that's ridiculous. It's not going to be that low. Let's say they cost 1,000 pesos each. So, say in August, 1,000 pesos was, well, for easy, let's say it's 1,200 pesos. Okay, it was $40 pesos. Actually, it devalued more than that, but let's just say 40 pesos to the dollar. So, that's $30. So, okay, you paid $30 to the book. But now, so this book that you sold for $30, now if it's $1,200, it's suddenly $20. So what you were able to sell for $30 in early August, now you're going to collect $20. It's like, oh my goodness. So you can imagine the challenges. So how do you deal with the extreme volatility and instability of prices? And if you've sold books and they got in under the wire, I mean, you're just stuck, right? So here's some of the books. They're beautiful. Las Pequeñas Alegrías. Viajera Crónica. Oh, I was going to buy that and I didn't. It was about a chronic traveler. Aguafuertes, Cariocas, Animales, Ebe Uarte. I'll have to check that out. Anyway. So let's just see the considerations in, if you're dealing with a country that's experiencing hyperinflation. The replacement of your inventory will be very high. Now, if everything's in dollars, it's going to peg the same, except the problem is that in a country like Argentina, the government does not want you working in dollars. They don't want you to convert your pesos into dollars. They want you to keep your pesos in the country and your dollars in the country. So if you're a supplier, if you sell now, you may be selling at a very low price compared to what the price will be in a few weeks or months. So, again, in the case of sold it for what it was the equivalent of, well, okay, so actually it could be the opposite too. You could be selling it at a high price compared to what it will be in a few weeks or months. And then also, how do you deal with payments? Credit cards, cash? If you take it in pesos and then it's like you get paid in 60 days and there's another devaluation, what exactly do you have? So it's very scary. So here I am, a picture of, you can see on the top floor and then the lighting. It actually photographs a lot prettier than it was. I'm not saying it wasn't nice, but it makes it look magical in the picture. So think about similar situations or experiences that you've had. What are the things that you are considering doing? What did you consider doing? And how did you evaluate the risk, exchange rate risk, in supply chain? So just food for thought, and I encourage you to share your experiences. And I'm thinking about making the first test not multiple choice or anything like that. I'm thinking about making it having to do with like a scenario. What would you do? And let's say if you had to work in Argentina. Or I'm also going to think for the next presentation I'm going to talk about Hurricane Dorian. And let's imagine that you're managing supply chain and you've been affected by Hurricane Dorian. Say you're in Abaco Bay. Whoops. So, don't mean to make you dizzy there. So, anyway, hope you've enjoyed this, and let's keep going.